Good morning, students. Dear students, today once again we are going to understand a very important chapter of our grammar book that is called Direct and Indirect Speech. Chapter number 16. Please open this chapter, Direct and Indirect Speech, we are going to study today. So let's understand direct and indirect or reported speech. Basically, we say it direct or indirect speech, or we say it reported speech, and we say it narration. So, whatever you want to say, you can say. So, you may often be required to report what you have heard somewhere. There are two ways of doing that. You can reproduce the actual words of the speaker, or you can give the gist of their speech in your own words. So, dear students, basically we have to understand, firstly, we need to understand what is the meaning of narration, what is the meaning of direct speech, and what is the meaning of indirect speech. Then we will get a ease to understand all the concept, right? So, narration means like saying of someone, quote of someone, means किसी की कही हुई बात को नरेशन बोलते हैं. Hindi meaning of this word is kathan. Kathan means किसी की कही हुई बात, right? So किसी की कही हुई बात means narration can be expressed in two ways. One is called direct way and second is called indirect way. किसी कही बात को हम दो तरह से बता सकते हैं. एक होता है direct way, एक होता है indirect way. When we use the same words, whatever speaker used in his quote, so that speech is called direct speech. But when we give the gist of that speech, brief summary of that speech, and we say that quotation in our own words, that is called indirect speech. किसी की कही हुई बात को उसी के शब्दों में कहना वो कहलाता है डायरेक्ट स्पीच, और किसी की कही बात को अपने शब्दों में कहना, that is called indirect speech. Right? Suppose I give you one example of Hindi, and so that there will be clear understanding about this. Suppose I say that मैं क्लास में आया और मैंने कहा कि कल मैं तुम्हें डायरेक्ट एंड इनडायरेक्ट स्पीच पढ़ाऊंगा. नेक्स्ट डे क्लास में मैंने एक बच्चे से पूछा कि बताओ मैंने कल क्या कहा था. वो कहता कि सर आपने कहा था कि मैं आपको डायरेक्ट एंड इनडायरेक्ट स्पीच पढ़ाऊंगा. फिर दूसरे बच्चे पूछा कि क्या बताया था. वो कहता कि आपने कहा था कि आप हमें डायरेक्ट और इनडायरेक्ट स्पीच पढ़ाएंगे. Both the students have said the same thing. Meaning is totally same, but the way of saying is different. One is saying in the same words whatever I used, and second is saying in his own words, but thing is same, matter is same, and meaning is same. तो जब कभी किसी की कही बात को हम उसी के शब्दों में बोलते हैं, that is called direct speech. अपने शब्दों में बोलते हैं, that is called indirect speech. For example, the inspector said, I am glad to be with you today. इंस्पेक्टर ने कहा कि मैं तुम्हारे साथ हूं आज, और इस बात पे मैं glad हूं, खुश हूं. This is called direct speech. And if we say this sentence in the indirect speech, we will say in this way: the inspector said that he was glad to be with us that day. Means some modification we have done here. So this way, in saying the same words is called a direct speech, and saying the same idea or same meaning in our own words, that is called indirect speech, right? When the exact words used by speaker are reproduced, it is called direct speech. Same thing I have told you. When the meaning of speech is conveyed in the reporter's words, it's called indirect speech. Same thing. When the exact words of speaker are reproduced, the entire speech is put within inverted commas. And this speech is called reported speech. The verb said which introduced the reported speech is called reporting verb. Usually a comma or a colon separates the reported speech from the reported verbs. So dear students, here we have to understand, whenever we say like reported speech in a direct way, so whatever the quotation is, that we use that quotation in the inverted commas, right? So and before that we use basically one verb that is called said, or like say we use it, or will say we use it, that is called reporting verb, and this part is called reported speech. किसी की कही बात जो होती है उसको इन्वर्टेड कॉमास में रखा जाता है, उस इन्वर्टेड कॉमास के पार्ट को बोलते हैं रिपोर्टेड स्पीच. किसी की कही हुई बात, और जो उससे पहले पार्ट यूज किया जाता है उसको बोलते हैं रिपोर्टिंग स्पीच, और जो वर्ब यूज की जाती है उसको बोलते हैं रिपोर्टिंग वर्ब, राइट। नेक्स्ट, if we compare the direct and indirect forms of narration, we find the flowing points of difference. अगर हम दोनों को कंपेयर करते हैं, डायरेक्ट स्पीच को इनडायरेक्ट स्पीच को, so basically some differences we will find here. Which are these differences? If we compare the direct speech, same thing, like first point we have to discuss here. The direct speech is always within inverted commas and it is separated from the rest of the sentence, usually by a comma. No inverted commas are used in the indirect speech. Like जब भी हम डायरेक्ट स्पीच लिखते हैं तो हम कोमास में लिखते हैं, और उससे पहले हम सेपरेट करने के लिए रिपोर्टिंग स्पीच को हम कोमा यूज करते हैं, और डायरेक्ट स्पीच में हम कोई भी इन्वर्टेड कोमास यूज नहीं करते, राइट। इट्स अ वेरी सिंपल वे. In the indirect speech, a conjunction, if necessary, is used to join the reported speech with the rest of the sentence. तो जब हम डायरेक्ट इनडायरेक्ट स्पीच बोलते हैं तो उसमें कंजंक्शन यूज की जाती है, यूजुअली वो क्या होती है, दैट होती है, दोनों पार्ट को कनेक्ट करने के लिए, दोनों क्लोज को कनेक्ट करने के लिए. लाइक रेनू सेड दैट she was very hungry, so that is conjunction here. So conjunction, this conjunction has joined these two parts, Renu said and she was very hungry. This is called conjunction. Third point, tenses, personal pronouns I, we, you, etc., possessive adjectives my, are, yours, etc., and adverbs denoting nearness of time and place undergoes certain changes with the direct speech is changed into the indirect speech. So whenever we change the sentence from direct speech to indirect speech, so what happens? Basically, we change the tenses along with personal pronouns, possessive adjectives, and adverbs which denote the nearness. Adverb basically of time, adverb of time and adverb of place. Like some examples are written here. Let's understand these examples. The inspector said, "I am glad to be with you today." Inspector ने कहा कि मैं तुम्हारे साथ हूँ, इसलिए मैं खुश हूँ. So you can see that here we have used I am. So I is a personal pronoun, that is a subjective case pronoun, and am is am shows that it's a present tense, and today also shows that time of present, and you, that's a second person pronoun, that's the objective case. So see the index speech sentence. The inspector said that he was glad to be with us that day. So we have changed I into the he, and we have changed into the was, and you, us, you, we have changed into the us, and today we have changed into the that day. So these type of certain changes we make when we make sentence direct to indirect speech. तो जब भी हम डायरेक्ट से इनडायरेक्ट स्पीच में कन्वर्ट करते हैं तो हम टेंस को बदल देते हैं, डायरेक्ट स्पीच के टेंस को बदल देते हैं, और उसके जो पर्सनल प्रोनाउंस होते हैं या पजेसिव एडजेक्टिव्स होते हैं उनको भी बदल देते हैं, और कुछ ऐसे वर्ड्स होते हैं जो नियरनेस को शो करते हैं, बेसिकली वो एडवर्ब ऑफ टाइम और एडवर्ब ऑफ प्लेस होते हैं, उनको हम दूर शो करने वाले, रिमोटनेस शो करने वाले वर्ड्स में चेंज कर देते हैं, राइट. Rules for effecting these changes are discussed in detail on the following pages. Rules for change of tenses means, like here we have to understand in which way we change the tenses. First is that if the reporting verb is in present tense or future tense, the tense of the verb in the reported speech remain unchanged. Dear student, this point we have to remember in our mind. We have to keep this point, direct speech. If in the direct speech, reporting speech, this part is called reporting speech, which is before the comma. So this part is called reporting speech. If this part is in the present tense or in the future tense, then reported speech tense will be unchanged. Means अगर इस part का tense present है या future है, तो जो reported speech का tense होगा उसको हम change नहीं करेंगे, वो वैसे का वैसे ही रहेगा. Like you can see here, Ashu says Pammi is going to England. Ashu says that Pammi is going to England. Same thing we have used a present continuous tense, and same we have used a present continuous tense. We haven't changed. Why? Because we have used in this tense simple present tense. In this part we have used simple present tense. That's why we haven't made any change in this part. Clear? Next sentence, direct. The teacher will say, all the children have become very naughty. Indirect speech, the teacher will say that all the children have become very naughty. So you can see that we haven't made any change here because this part means reporting speech part is in future tense. If this part is in future tense or in present tense, then there is a no need to make any type of change of the tense in the reported speech. Clear? Next point, if the reporting speech is in the past tense, the tense in the reported speech are changed into the corresponding past tense. तो अगर हमारा रिपोर्टिंग स्पीच का जो टेंस है वो पास्ट में हो तो रिपोर्टेड स्पीच का टेंस हम उसके कोरस्पॉन्डिंग टेंस में बदल देते हैं, जैसे कि प्रेजेंट को पास्ट में बदल देते हैं, जैसे कि ismr will be changed into was were will be changed into had been, no change, simple present, simple past, do will change into did, simple present will change into past perfect, did will change into had done, and has have we will change into had, and had we will change into no change means past perfect, no change, had done, and will have in would, right? So these changes, dear student, these rules you have to memorize, you have to learn these rules so that you will be able to write, you will be able to translate the sentence into direct speech to indirect speech, right? Next point, in certain cases shall might be changed into should. कुछ केसेस ऐसे होते हैं जहाँ पे shall हम should में चेंज कर देते हैं जब shall को यूज किया जाता है सजेशन देने के लिए, सजेशन देने या लेने के लिए. समटाइम we say that shall I come in the class, shall we start the class, shall we write on the board. So there I'm taking the suggestion of someone. So if we use the shall as a suggestion word, as a suggestion model, so in that case we should change the shall into the should. Otherwise, if you are talking about the future as a will shall, then we can change will shall into the would. Next, if may or can is written there, we need to change them in might and could. Would, should, might, and could will be unchanged. Ought to or used to, no change, must, had to. Right? These things we have to understand, we have to learn these things so that we will be able to uh, convert the sentence into direct speech to indirect speech. Examples: Suresh said Anuj is very successful. You can see that that is the present tense we have used here. So in the indirect speech we will say that Suresh said that. So here we have to use the conjunction that. Anuj was very successful. So ism are changed into was or were. Suresh said Anuj was very successful. Suresh said Anuj had been very successful. Suresh said Anuj had been very successful. Suresh said that Anuj had been very successful. Right? So had been if written that is in the indirect speech. So direct speech, so indirect speech, there will be no change in had been. Suresh said Anuj works independently. Suresh said that Anuj worked independently. Suresh said Anuj worked independently. Suresh said Anuj had worked independently. So past tense we have used here. So that's why I mean simple past we have used here. So here we will use past perfect tense. Suresh said Anuj had worked independently. Suresh said Anuj had worked independently. So you can understand like whatever rule we discussed here. So these all the rules we have applied here, right? These things you have to learn, students. Just understanding is not enough. If we understand something and then next task is that we have to learn the things, then we can apply those things. Otherwise not. Next point. Suresh said Anush will be quite happy. Suresh said Anush would be quite happy. So will we have changed into the would. Suresh said Anuj must learn computers. Suresh said that Anuj had to learn computers. So will we have changed into the would, and must we have changed into the had to, right? So in this way we need to make some changes. Exceptions of rule 2. So there are some exceptions. Yeah, it means like some things are there which does not follow the rules. So those things we have to understand. If the reported speech express a universal truth or a habitual fact, its tense remain unchanged. तो कभी कभी क्या होता है कि हमारा जो रिपोर्टेड स्पीच का सेंटेंस हो ऐसी बात को बता रहा हो जो हैबिचुअल हो, यानी कि हैबिट की बात हो, या फिर यूनिवर्सल ट्रूथ हो, जो आज भी सच है, कल भी सच था और हमेशा सच रहेगा। कभी कभी इस तरह की बातें बताई जाती हैं, तो उनके लिए हम टेंस कभी चेंज नहीं करते, टेंस वैसे ही रहता है, क्योंकि वो यूनिवर्सल ट्रूथ होते हैं, वो कभी चेंज नहीं होते। प्रेजेंट, पास्ट, फ्यूचर में हमेशा एक जैसे रहते हैं। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, लाइक फर्स्ट सेंटेंस रिटन हियर, माई फादर सेड too many cooks spoil the broth. So this is a proverb, so that's a universal truth, so we will say in this way, my father said that too many cooks spoil the broth. Next, she said young children are very restless. So it's a habitual, जो young children होते हैं बहुत ही active होते हैं, बहुत ही means restless होते हैं. So this is a habitual things, and this will remain always. So we can say this. She said that young children are always restless, right? So there is no need to make any change because these sentences of universal truth and habitual facts. Next, B point: if the reported speech describe a state of affairs which still exists when the speech is reported, its tense remains unchanged. So, dear students, it's a very important point. So, what happens whenever we like say the quote of someone which was said in the past and we try to say that quote in the present, but if the affair, if that matter still exists, so in that case there is no need to change of the tense. यानी कि अगर किसी की कही बात को हम पास में किसी ने कोई बात कही और प्रेजेंट में उसको कहना चाहते हैं, परंतु वो बात अभी भी ज्यों की त्यों है, वो जो अफेयर है, वो जो कंडीशन है, वो जो मैटर है अभी भी वैसा का वैसे ही है, तो उस समय भी हमें टेंस को चेंज करने की जरूरत नहीं होती। जैसे ही सेड उमा वांट्स टू बिकम रिच बाय विनिंग अ लॉटरी, तो उसने कहा कि उमा चाहती है कि लॉटरी जीतकर वो अमीर बनना चाहती है। तो जब हम उसकी बात को अपने शब्दों में कहेंगे तो वो कंडीशन जब भी वैसी है, तब भी उन्होंने लॉटरी नहीं जीती है, तब भी वो चाहती है कि वो लॉटरी जीते और वो एक रिच पर्सन बने, तो हम उसकी बात में टेंस नहीं करेंगे। लाइक वी नीड टू से इन दिस वे, he said that Uma wants to become rich by winning a lottery. So we can see that we haven't made any change of tense in the reported speech. So in this condition, when affair is same, which was in the past and which is in the present also, so in that case there is no need to make any change regarding the tense in the reported speech. Next point, she said Ritu does not get along well with her husband. उसने कहा कि रितु जो है वो अपने हस्बैंड के साथ, उसको एक अच्छा साथ नहीं मिल रहा है, उसकी एक अच्छी हेल्प नहीं मिल रही है उसको अपने हस्बैंड की। The situation continues to be the same when the speech is reported. जब ये बात कही गई है तब भी सिचुएशन जो होती है वो वैसी की वैसी होती है। So we need to say in this way, she said that Ritu does not get along well with her husband. We haven't made any change in this because situation is same which was in the past and which is in the present. Next point, if the reported speech contains a time clause, its tense remain unchanged. The main verb of such a sentence can either remain unchanged or become past perfect. So what happens when there is a two clauses in the sentence of reported speech and the second clause is related to time clause? जब सेंटेंस में दो क्लोजेस हो, क्लोजेस को आप समझ सकते हैं सेंटेंस में कि दो बातें दी हों और दूसरी वाली बात जो है वो टाइम को डिनोट कर रही हो, तो उस समय हमें उसके टेंस को चेंज करने की जरूरत नहीं है, या फिर हम कर भी सकते हैं। तो इट्स टोटली अप टू अस, इधर वी कैन मेक चेंज और वी शुड नॉट मेक चेंज, इट्स टोटली अप टू अस। लाइक शी सेड व्हेन अनु वाज लिविंग इन मुंबई शी ऑफन सो सोम, तो उसने कहा कि जब वो मुंबई में रह रही थी तो उसने अक्सर उसको सोम को देखा। So we can say that she said that when Anu was living in Mumbai, she often saw Som. So we have seen that time clause we have used here. Time clause means time को बताने वाला sentence use किया। Like when Anu was living in the Mumbai, जिस समय अनु मुंबई में रह रही थी, तो टाइम को डिनोट करने वाला एक पार्ट यूज किया है, तो उस कंडीशन में हमें टेंस को चेंज करने की जरूरत नहीं होती और हम कर भी सकते। इट्स टोटली अप टू अस। He said Gopi slept when he was trying to board a bus. He said that Gopi had slept or slept. If we want to change the tense, we can make it in the past perfect, or we can we can keep it as it is, like slip second form we can use in the simple past tense. So when he was trying to board a bus, so if we want to make change we can make, otherwise not. When the time clause is written in the reported speech, right? Next, put the flowing into indirect speech using that as a conjunction. So conjunction that आपको यूज करनी है इन sentences में, और इनको डायरेक्ट से इनडायरेक्ट स्पीच में कन्वर्ट करने की कोशिश करनी है. And soon I'll send the answer key, then you can match the answer and you can write those answers in your fair notebook. Still you have to do practice in your practice notebook, right? Next, rules for the change of pronouns and possessive adjectives. प्रोनाउंस को possessive adjectives को कैसे चेंज करते हैं, उनकी कुछ सर्टेन रूल्स हैं, वो हमने समझने हैं. Pronouns and possessive adjectives of first person are changed according to the subject of reporting verb. जो pronouns हैं, possessive adjectives हैं, वो first person के हैं तो वो subject के according change होंगे. Means you can see here, if that pronoun, which pronouns have been used in the sentence, and if they are related to first person, so we will change them according to the subject of reporting speech. तो रिपोर्टेड स्पीच के जो प्रोनाउंस होंगे, अगर वो फर्स्ट पर्सन के प्रोनाउंस हैं, तो रिपोर्टिंग स्पीच के प्रोनाउन के सब्जेक्ट के अकॉर्डिंग चेंज होंगे, राइट? जैसे कि आई सेड आई वांट टू कंसल्ट माय पेरेंट्स. सो हमें पता है कि आई क्या है, फर्स्ट पर्सन है, सिंगुलर है, सब्जेक्टिव केस है, एंड माय दैट इज फर्स्ट पर्सन, that is singular, but that is possessive case adjectives. So when we will change this, we will change according to this subject, and subject is also I, so the words will remain same. So we need to say that he said that I wanted to consult my parents. Clear? Next example, you said I want to consult my parents. तुमने कहा कि मैं अपने पेरेंट्स से कंसल्ट करना चाहता हूँ, बट नाउ कंडीशन इज डिफरेंट, सब्जेक्ट इज यू. So if I have told you, if pronouns are first person, so according to subject we need to change. Pronouns are of first person and subject is of second person, that is you. So according to you we will use subjective case, we will use possessive case here. So we need to say in this way, you said that you wanted to consult your parents. We have changed I into the you because if pronouns is of first person, we need to change them according to the subject. If pronouns is of second person, then we need to change them according to the object, but that is of first person. That's why we have changed it according to the subject, and subject is second person. So according to the second person, we need to fill here subjective case of second person, that is you, and here we need to put possessive case of second person. So possessive case of second person is yours. So you said that you wanted to consult your parents. So dear students, when you will try to buy yourself, then you will understand the things. It's not just theoretically, we have to do it practically. Next, she said I want to consult my parents. Then you can see that I is written here and she is written here, so that is of first person, that is of third person. So this will change according to the third person. We need to write here, she said that she wanted to consult her parents, right? So my is objective case, so it will be changed into the she. So she is a third person, so according to the third person we need to write here her, right? I hope everything you are understanding, you are getting what is being spoken by me. Next point, let me little come back. So according to this understanding, you have to do exercise number 2 also. Next, E point, pronouns and possessive adjectives of second person are changed according to the object of the reporting speech. So here we have to understand, if the pronouns of reported speech are of a second person, so we have to change them according to the object of reporting speech. तो अगर रिपोर्टेड स्पीच के जो प्रोनाउंस हमने यूज किए हैं वो सेकंड पर्सन के हों, तो उनको चेंज करते हैं रिपोर्टिंग स्पीच के ऑब्जेक्ट के अकॉर्डिंग, राइट? सो यू कैन सी दैट यूर पेरेंट्स, दैट इज means like second person, your parents. So according to object, that is me, and me is first person, so we need to use here, we can say that possessive adjective of first person. So we will say this sentence in this way: Ashok told me that my parents were waiting for me, right? So we have used here my because we need to change the second person according to the object. Object is me, according to the me we need to fill here my. right? And the same way you we have used here, that is the objective case second person. So according to the me, we need to fill here me, because the objective case of me is me, right? तो हमें ये समझना होता है कि अगर हमारा ये प्रोनाउंस जो हमने यूज किया है रिपोर्टेड स्पीच में वो सेकंड पर्सन के हैं, तो सेकंड पर्सन के प्रोनाउंस ऑब्जेक्ट के अकॉर्डिंग चीज होते हैं और फर्स्ट पर्सन के प्रोनाउंस सब्जेक्ट के अकॉर्डिंग चीज होते हैं। तो सेकंड पर्सन के प्रोनाउंस दिए गए हैं तो ऑब्जेक्ट क्या है मी क्या होता है फर्स्ट पर्सन। तो हमने यहाँ पे फर्स्ट पर्सन लिखना है, परंतु उसे केस चेंज नहीं करने, केस हमने यहाँ पे यूज किया इसका ऑब्जेक्टिव केस, तो ऑब्जेक्ट सॉरी पजेसिव केस यूज किया, पजेसिव केस ही यूज करना है यहाँ पे, और यहाँ पे हमने यूज किया उसका ऑब्जेक्टिव केस, तो ऑब्जेक्टिव केस ही यूज करना है मी का हमें। तो मी का पजेसिव केस क्या होता है माई, और ऑब्जेक्टिव केस क्या होता है मी, तो इस तरह हमने उनको कन्वर्ट करना होता है, राइट। अशोक टोल्ड मी दैट माई पेरेंट्स वर वेटिंग फॉर मी। Note, if the reporting verb said is followed by an object, it is usually uh, changed into the told. The verb told is not followed by the preposition to. So dear students, here we have to understand whenever a verb is that said to, so basically we change the said to into the told. अगर हमारी verb said to हो तो हम उसको told में convert कर देते हैं, अगर just said हो तो उसको said को said ही रहने देते हैं, said to को told में convert करते हैं, told के बाद to नहीं आता, right? Ashok said to you, your parents are waiting for you. Ashok told you. We have changed the said to into the told. You, your parents, that is second person, and this your will change into the object. Object is second person, so same we will mention here. Your parents were waiting for you. Clear? It's a little complicated, but if you do practice, then you will understand all the things. Ashok said to him, your parents are waiting for you. Ashok told him that his parents were waiting for him. Because you know that is you have used here, so that is second person. So second person will be changed according to the object. Object is him. Him is third person. So third person possessive case we need to use here. That will be his, and his parents were waiting for him. That is you. That's objective case, and objective case of some third person is him, her, or it. We are talking about a boy or male person, that's why we have used here him. So on the behalf of this understanding, you have to do exercise 3 also, and rest of things we will understand in the next class. So now if you want to ask anything, then you can